Moments with Marianne. I'm so delighted we're spending this time here today. We have a phenomenal show coming right up with none other than Amy Nobile and Trisha Ashworth. Now, they're here today to share with us their new book, Just When You're Comfortable in Your Own Skin, It Starts to Sag, Rewriting the Rules of Midlife. Now, Amy started her career in New York in public relations before writing books and becoming an entrepreneur. Trisha is a Bay Area native and UCLA graduate who became a successful advertising producer. Her professional experience gave her the strong foundation to launch her career as an author and entrepreneur. So let's welcome Amy Nobile and Trisha Ashworth to the show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. What a joy it is to have both of you. My goodness, once I got my hands on this book, I could not put it down. Half the time I was laughing, half the time I was crying. It's so dead on.
Well, we interview hundreds of women for each of our books, and this book is no exception. So you are not alone. Hundreds and hundreds of women feel the same way.
Well, and so that leads me to a question: what inspired for all this to come together for this book to happen?
Yeah, so we have written our books based on kind of what was written out there and what women really needed at the time. And for this book, we started hearing whisperings of women saying, wow, I have ticked all the boxes in my life. I feel like I should be happy. I feel like I should be fulfilled, but I'm kind of stuck. Or I'm having this weird feeling of like, is this all there is? And I feel kind of guilty for feeling this way, but, our minds never really gave us. They didn't have a roadmap to even give us. About the second half of their lives, they kind of just looked at it like they were coasting, or it was a downward slope. And for this generation, we really look at midlife, we hate that word, but we look at midlife like, wow, this is an opportunity. This could be a better half of our lives. And we want to embrace it, but we don't really have a roadmap to get there. And so that was sort of the inspiration behind writing this book.
Well, it must have felt, I'm sure you had tons of women emailing you, because I know your other books are hugely successful, but I'm sure you had women emailing you going, gosh, and as you were saying, like my parents, they kind of were just, at 50, they were kind of like done. No one's thinking about, the upkeep or working out or anything. It's just kind of like, I'm just going to put it home and, take it easy.
Yeah, it was such a different generation, and we talked to women, over the phone. That's how we get our research. We talked to them over the phone for about an hour, and really get sort of the truths of how they're feeling as well, and we do third-party research. And what we did find is that it was a very different generation. That previous generation, like you said, just kind of life stopped at 50. So for us to look at what our next chapter looks like is a blank slate, and we're really trying to embrace and trying to learn how to make this next chapter as fulfilling and as satisfying as we can. And every part of our lives, right? So personally, professionally, we're reassessing our relationships. Are they serving us now? And what kind of reimagining what we want the next part of our lives to look like, because we have permission.
Isn't that just amazing? I turned 50 this year, and when I was reading your book, I was like, gosh, this can't be more dead on, because, women are looking for, how do we move forward in this next 40, 30, 50 years, however much time we have, and as you kind of talked about, we're reinventing ourselves. What can that look like?
Exactly. And we talked to a lot of women who said, I'm so excited. We have choices that our moms didn't have, and I'm so excited, but I don't know how to get there. We had other women we talked to and said, oh yeah, well, I'm turning 50, so I can't wear a bikini now. That's just, no. And following in the footsteps of their mothers, and then the more we probed and asking about their happiness and satisfaction levels and priority levels, it's like they kind of slowly realize, like, wait a minute, I am not putting myself on the priority list, and I can, and I should. Well, and that is such a big gift, is to give yourself permission. And, one of the things in this book is you need to know we're hearing from a lot of different women, this book is really resonating in that way because you don't even know that you're feeling a certain way. It just feels like you can't articulate it. You feel stuck. You feel like, gosh, is this it? Or why am I feeling this way? So when you really start to sit down and dig a little deeper, you realize, like, oh, this completely makes sense. Like, of course I feel this way at this time in my life. And there's actually hope for me to, reinvent myself or reprioritize myself or look at, what's important in my life. So, it's very cathartic, too, to learn that you're not alone. And it's also a little tricky, right? So we have a chapter on redefining what beauty means because when you look at the women's magazines, it's all these beautiful 40s, 50s, and 60-something J.Lo and Julianne Moore and Helen Mirren. Yet at the same time, we're struggling with it. Are we supposed to look like that? There's technology that can help us look like that. But at the same time, when you really ask women what makes you feel beautiful, not argue, but what makes you feel beautiful, then the real truth came out. Like, wow, you know what? When I'm laughing so hard with girlfriends after I work out and feel really rosy and glowy, those are the things, those are the times that they feel beautiful. So that's also something that we need to redefine for ourselves.
How inspiring it is that we can have an age where women get to redefine what beautiful is for them, and it really is about the experience more so than, it's different for everybody, but more so than necessarily what one's appearance is.
Exactly. And we talk to a lot of women who are now in the dating pool again, suddenly, and whether, a lot of times it was on their choice, but a lot of women are dating men younger or much younger, and the rules are shifting, the rules are really changing, and this generation of women are the most dynamic, the smartest, most beautiful inside and out. I mean, really, truly, it's the most powerful generation of women at this age right now, so it really is an exciting time.
And I think that's pretty exciting. And so to kind of bump this up a little bit, because I know we both touched on this, what were some of the key issues that you kind of discovered as you were creating this book? I know we talked about giving yourself permission as one of those. Were there other things that kind of really stood out? Oh my gosh, I never even considered that.
Well, one of the things that really stood out to us is, and again, to Trisha's point, it's like we don't even realize that these things are going on. Is you look at where you are in your life, and if you are answering, well, it's not what I thought it'd be, or I'm a little disappointed, or I'm not sure, look at the expectations around you, and so many women say, wow, I have continued on a path for decades because of expectations that are not mine. Maybe they come from my family, maybe they come from my husband or my partner or my friends, but they're expectations that you need to reassess. And if you are living a life that really truly is not designed by you, then it's time to rethink that. So even that exercise of sitting down and really writing it down, thinking about it, is something we're not used to doing. We need to. And also, this generation, it's very interesting on how we define happiness. We really are looking at, we're raised to believe, okay, we have a career, we get married, we have kids, we push through our career, we check all these boxes, and suddenly we're asking ourselves, I did everything I was supposed to do, why am I not happy? And we're not looking a little bit deeper at what makes us feel more successful, what makes us feel more fulfilled, what makes us feel complete. So those exercises really are important to understand what you really want, and not just check the boxes.
You say, it's another list to check off. It's really kind of sitting and getting in touch with, gosh, what is it that I want, that makes me fulfilled and happy?
Not necessarily what others have told you or what you think others want of you, or the story that you live in. We tell ourselves stories. We say, oh no, I'm good at this. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm most good at. This is where I need to be. But when you really start peeling away the layers, it's like, well, hold on. I like to go there, but do I like it? Is this what I really want to do for the next 20 years? Yeah, we had one woman tell us that she, her dad always, he said, I'm only paying for college because you'd be like, if you go into finance. So she said, okay, I'll go into finance. Did it for, all the way through up to her 40s, and then suddenly realized, like, gosh, what I really want to do is be an interior designer. So, really asking yourself those questions, and so she changed her career, and she is just loving her life, and feels like this next chapter is going to be beautiful for her.
Well, I just love those stories because it gives women so much encouragement, especially if they feel like they've been stuck by their circumstances. If they're moms, and they have kids, or maybe they're a single mom, and my gosh, reinventing yourself isn't really a thing that you can do when you're having to take care of other people.
Well, and it's also not necessarily changing your whole career. That's dramatic, and that's, there can be a lot of implications to that. But it can be continuing doing what you're doing for your job, but adding things to your life that make you feel fulfilled and satisfied. Whether it's going back to your childhood and looking at, gosh, I used to love playing in the dirt and planting flowers. Well, maybe you should be at a nursery, planting more flowers as an adult, for your hobby. So looking at what makes you happy and fulfilling your time doing something a little bit different. Right? Or joining a garden club, or joining where you can find a community of like-minded people, and you talk to a lot of women who say they feel really alone right now in their lives, and it makes sense. It slowly starts to happen where all the circles that you made, circles of friends during when your kids were in school, like that starts to dwindle, and all of a sudden we're all evolving constantly and changing, and so you really need to find your tribe now, and the way to do that is to find like interests. And so we really encourage women to think like a child, and do a little bit of brainstorming, and start connecting with those passions that you might think are silly, but they're actually really fulfilling, and that's where you're going to find your tribe as well.
I love that. And what are some of the topics that have been taboo over the years that women don't talk about that we're starting to kind of have discussions around?
Yeah, there's so many. One is certainly, we watched our parents stay in unhappy marriages for a long time, and many of them are still or just okay happy, just happy, not so happy, not doing anything about it to make it happier, to make the marriage more fulfilling. So really, opening up and taking a good, strong look at if you're in a marriage, and how happy really are you, and could it be happier? How do you work on it? Or maybe it's not serving you, maybe it's time to go. And those still are kind of taboo topics, but at this point, this generation, talked to a lot of women who said, I'm not willing to do what my parents did, and I'm going to make some choices of my own. And so that's really interesting. And we've heard women were in unhappy relationships with their friends, women who weren't as supportive as they hoped they would be, that had more judgment and didn't allow them to just be who they need to be and grow in the direction they wanted to grow. So really looking at not only your relationship, your spousal relationship, but your relationships that surround you. It's so important at this time in your life to be with women who support you, who understand your authenticity or where you want to go with your life, and help you with that. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to sort of let some friendships go that really just feel like negative energy, and we tend to hang on. We tend to hang on to things a little too long, and it's okay. It really is okay. The word no is a good word sometimes, without any explanation. Well, and sometimes those people who are surrounding you are actually guiding the choices that you're making too. So, it's not allowing you the freedom to say, actually, I do want to join that gardening club. I do want to, because there's a little bit of judgment, like, really, you're going to do that? Or you don't have time, you've got kids, or, it just, that's not who you are. Yeah, it's not who you are. Maybe, so, on the flip side, that can be, if you're surrounding yourself with people who are open-minded and know you for who you are, and can help guide you to kind of find those new passions and things in your life as well.
So when you tell them you're going to Cancun or Cabo for the weekend, they're like, gosh, you're going by yourself? Is that safe? Let's embrace the adventure,
Yeah, and that is just, those questions are what inhibits so many of us to do things we want to do, because we feel guilty, and we put this pressure on ourselves to not let ourselves have permission to do what we want to do. And that's just something that really needs to be let go of.
Kind of like another pressure for.
another category is menopause. Really, even our publisher was wondering if we should keep that secret chapter in the book or not. And it's astounding how many women still are so confused, and they feel like it's this sort of shameful topic. We talked to one woman who's, as we speak, hiding the fact that she's in menopause from her husband because it feels unsexy. So it's menopause, we all go periods, and we're women, and here's the deal, and we're going to go through this. It's actually a beautiful life change as we evolve, but for some reason that is a very taboo topic. So we tackle that in the book in a very kind of one-on-one way, just to open it up for discussion.
Well, and the menopause is interesting too, because it's kind of a we all know it's attached to an age, a time in our life, and typically around a certain age, and so it kind of is a double whammy. Like, not only am I having to realize where I am in my life, but it's being slapped on by everybody knowing it by my hot flashes and the supermarket. So it's like, we're not bad enough that we've reached that point. Like, some women are probably going, wait a minute, what just happened? I'm reaching this point, and on top of it, now it looks like I just took a shower in the grocery store, and it's right. We don't feel like we're in midlife. That word is so, but we are in that time, that phase in our life, but it just doesn't go with how we're feeling.
Yeah, and that word midlife is such a dirty little word, and we talk to women who are in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, who say, oh, I don't relate to that word. No, not a good word. And so we got curious, and we said, all right, well, what's a better word? So we kind of, in our book, we have a little bit of a brainstorm of other words, and the word that really stuck is perennials. So perennials are everlasting, enduring, better, more beautiful year after year, and that word women lit up. They love it, and so our big mission is to rebrand midlife, and our website is weareperennials.co, and for a reason, because it just feels like that feels right. Like, yes, we're just getting started, the best years are to come.
If we keep saying that, we will believe it. I mean, we have to just change the mindset of how we're all feeling too, and owning it, which is exciting. Because we start this movement of, these are good years. There's been such a negative connotation to these years in the past, and we've got to rebrand it, rename it, rethink about it, and re-own it. So the next generation too, they'll come up with a roadmap that shows such a great time of their life.
Right, and we're showing them, we're showing each other, and that's why it's important. A lot of us are trudging this path very feeling alone, but the more we band together and we put more women's groups together and support groups and online just ways to get in touch and to support and encourage each other, and this is exciting, and so many women are doing incredible things. So it's important to band together.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been talking with Amy Nobile and Trisha Ashworth in regards to their new book, Just When You're Comfortable in Your Own Skin, It Starts to Sag. We'll be right back after these messages.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking, working with people from every walk of life. Her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge, teaching beyond conventional wisdom. Her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special, when you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives will forever changed, and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
Have you ever had the sense that your thoughts might actually be doing something? Ancient secrets of manifesting have been masterfully revealed in the award-winning book Manifesting 123 by Ken Elliott. For the first time, the author's experiences and stories in this book describe exactly how your thoughts can create anything. You've been doing this all your life, but it's never been fully explained for you until now. Visit manifesting123.com for more information today. Manifesting123.com.
There are nearly 2 million Americans living with amputation. Many live right here in San Antonio. Becoming an amputee can be scary, frustrating, isolating, but there's no reason to feel alone. The San Antonio Amputee Foundation is here to help support you and guide you toward resources such as home and car modifications and even prosthetic limbs. For more information or to make a donation, visit saamputee.org. We'll help you live a full, active life, one step at a time. San Antonio Amputee Foundation, healing limbs, hearts, and souls.
Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. I'm so delighted to be reintroducing our special guests, Amy Nobile and Trisha Ashworth, and they're here to share with us their fabulous book, Just When You're Comfortable in Your Own Skin, It Starts to Sag.
I think it's so great that you guys are really taking this and taking the lead with it, because, I mean, your book was a page turner. It's hysterical. I love that we talk about rebranding, about midlife, and I'm actually looking at this page right now, which I had earmarked because the page next to it talks about 4 things you can learn from your teenagers. And it's true, but at the same time, I mean, you're just laughing reading this. It's like how to be more selfish, and there's women we really need to focus on ourselves more.
It's so true. I mean, we can learn so much from them. I mean, they're self-centered, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, they look at themselves and say, what do I want? What do I want now? You know what? Why not me? I'm going to go for it. If I trip and fall, so what? I'll dust myself off and I'll go in a different direction. And so it's a really interesting exercise to kind of see life through their lens. They're playful. They play games. They're giddy. You know, there's so many things that we can learn to get us to the next, where we're supposed to go.
It's the bless, as I say. It's like if you don't know what's ahead of you and you just jump in, the outcome is irrelevant. It's the act of doing it and feeling that and trying it. Yeah. Oh gosh, couldn't we use more of that, especially because I know sometimes we tend to be overcautious as we get older. We've been burnt a few times. It's like, oh, do I really want to do that? Will that hurt? From whatever angle that we're looking at it. And it's so nice to be able to look at life as one great adventure.
Absolutely, and just play. Just be playful. We talked to one woman who, she's in her mid-50s. She found meditation and yoga probably a decade ago, and it transformed her life. And she was a real estate agent. She was burnt out. She was just annoyed with the world, didn't realize it. And for her, finding meditation and yoga kind of centered her in a way that now she's a completely different person. She looks different. She's super, healthy and fit, and she's happy and glowy, and she literally plays on a daily basis, whether it's just huge laughter, whether it's brainstorming with a friend, whether it's trying something new. She's just always looking. So her way of looking at midlife is like kindergarten 2.0. It's just like a playground, and we love that. We love that because so many of us don't give ourselves permission to do that.
We sure don't. Not at all, not even close. And it was a great thing to be able to pick up your book when you're just comfortable in your own skin, it starts to sag. And to either get together in a book club or, have your friends over and you're kind of checking out the book and just enjoying each other's company, this is a great way to get some of these discussions started.
Absolutely. That's kind of why and how we structured it, the way it's structured. It's really easy to read, very girlfriendly, with lots of quotes from other women where you just, part of it is just the relief you feel, like, okay, it's not me. It is not me. It's okay. And, we're in it together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're hearing from a lot of women who are out there just starting to read it. That's the feedback we're getting. It's just like, I'm not alone. And to be able to have those conversations with friends that you know, so you all know you're all on the same page, that you're in a judgment-free zone, you're in a place of support, like, we're all going through this. I mean, what kind of a gift to give your friends and to be a part of that type of group.
To be able to do that. Well, and I would be remiss if we didn't talk about one of the things I think a lot of women focus on, and that's perfection. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we are a generation of perfectionists. We know that. We know that from interviewing so many women. We are very type A. Our expectations of ourselves are out of whack. They're way over the top, and we discovered that when we wrote our first book. I was a really good mom before I had kids. We really try to do it all and do it all perfectly, and that formula does not work. And so we, first of all, have to ease up on ourselves and know that, just be gentle with yourself. Right now in life, this phase, there's a lot going on. And we need to really be gentle with ourselves, put ourselves back on the priority list. And, perfection is not the goal. And we did talk to a lot of women who said, you know what, I now get it. Now I feel more confident. I feel like my imperfections make me who I am. And, everything can wait for 5 minutes. I'm not going to be that person. And so it's, recognizing that who we are as a generation, and then recognizing, okay, it's all right. It's actually, perfection is never the goal. Well, and that's why so many aren't taking those choices and those risks too in your life, because, gosh, what if you do fail? We're so fearful of what these big words that are so powerful and so scary that we don't even try new things because we're scared of the perfect. We want to be perfect, and it's so limiting for us. Right. And the path we've laid out, like if you go to, law school and then you become a lawyer, and then, well, what if you turn around and say, I want to be a stand-up comedian? What do people want to think of me? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And maybe they won't respect me as much, and maybe that's not the path. It's silly the way that our minds have been programmed, and we need to really kind of take a step back and know that there are no wrong answers now. And, in life, at the end of the day, it's not about, we heard over and over, success equals achievement. That's this generation. It's like, wait a minute, maybe success equals 2 beautiful, loving kids. Maybe success equals, like, the best friends a girl could ask for and who are there for you and you've inspired in some little way. Maybe success is just feeling grounded in yourself and feeling strong. So it's kind of redefining that, and for each of us.
And I love that because, first of all, you can almost feel like the sigh of relief of women around the world are going, gosh, I don't have to be perfect. I can be me, and I don't have to worry about all these other labels that might come, with either jobs or family or what have you. I can look at what makes me happy and what fulfills me personally and work on my inner peace. And I think it really gives women a place to, as you were saying when we first started talking, it's like a roadmap. It's like, finally we get a roadmap, where does this go?
Right, and shut out the noise. I mean, this, we hear a lot of women say, is this it? But this is it right now. So take the time to really make sure that what this next chapter, where we are right now, is the most bountiful, the most, fulfilling it can be. And it really is shutting out that noise.
And it might not look like what you thought it would.
It's okay. It probably doesn't. If you are on the same path you've been on for 20 years, something is probably a little askew. So
Maybe you're in the minority and it's not, but more likely than not, it's time to take a look again and ask and be selfish and ask yourself some juicy questions. And maybe if you're too scared to do that, get your best girlfriend or two together and maybe just go on a Sunday, go off and sit down and really start to ask these questions.
Yeah, kind of do some exploration there and learn a little bit more about what it is that you really want in your life.
Yeah, and one of the exercises that's kind of fun that we heard a woman was talking about, it's just, again, going back to that child's mentality of like putting up white paper, going somewhere quiet on a Sunday and putting up white paper on the wall with markers and brainstorming for each other. Your best girlfriend knows your qualities probably better than you do, all your best qualities and your quirks and all of that, and brainstorm and come up with ways that you can kind of break out of your shell or try something new, even if it's small, something you could do together. We had a woman read the book and say, like, I have been putting off a trip to Cuba with my best girlfriends for 10 years because I just didn't feel deserving of it. And she put down the book and booked it, and they went and it was life-changing for her. And so it doesn't have to be this big, sweeping, huge change, but it's realizing where you put limitations in your life and kind of unleashing some of that.
We also find that, we found that it was helpful to gather together with women that know you really well, because sometimes, we're stuck saying, who am I, and what do I want, and that whiteboard effect, if you have somebody else who knows you really well could say, you know what, you're really good at this, like, have you thought about, you always talk about being in the medical world, but maybe it's something, that's similar but not the same, and just having other people to kind of that support you, look at it through their lens as well.
Yeah, we talked to one woman who was in the publishing world for her whole career and really just was grinding away at it. It just didn't fulfill her anymore, but she was stuck, and she took a girlfriend away for one night. They just went like an hour away, and they spent the night and went on hikes, and during one of the hikes, her girlfriend turned to her and said, you are a master organizer. Like, the time you came to my house and just in 10 seconds organized my closet was like mind-blowing for me. And this woman now has launched her own home organization business. It's doing really well. And it's like, for her, it's like not even work. Like, she's thrilled beyond belief that she made that pivot. And that was all due to her friend looking at her and convincing her.
Well, being open-minded and being, it really does take some thought to put yourself in those situations, too. Being open-minded to change.
Right.
Change is scary, but it also can be one of the best things you do for yourself.
And that woman had told herself a story. She loved organizing her whole life, but had told herself a story that, that's not a business. I can't marry that. Like, I like doing that for my family, and her friend, it took a while. Her friend convinced her to try it. So.
Oh, that's exciting, and I get it. I mean, I started off in the medical industry myself. It was a really poor career choice, even though I like helping people, because blood makes me pass out. So, but that's exactly right. But that correlation to helping others in medical turned into a radio show, which you're helping others learn about themselves and grow a little deeper.
That's really right, and that's a really good point, is what is the umbrella? What's the umbrella? Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, some people want to help, some people just love technology. Like, what is that umbrella? And then you can brainstorm, because there's probably lots of different options underneath that.
Well, Amy and Trisha, my goodness, you guys are just so amazing. We can talk for hours easily. Don't get me started. But where can our listeners connect with you and learn more about your community and just the different events that you have going on?
Yeah, so we have a new website. It's weareperennials.co, so weareperennials.co, and you can find everything there. You can buy the book, you can find out where we're appearing, hear about our story and our mission, and we would love to connect with you. So.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, I'm part of your community. I highly suggest everyone do the same and pick up your own copy of Just When You're Comfortable in Your Own Skin, It Starts to Sag. Gosh, Amy and Trisha, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you. It was really lovely. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Amy and Trisha. It's been such a joy to spend this time with you. My goodness, love, love, love your book. Just when you're comfortable in your own skin, it starts to sag. What a great resource for anybody and for all of you that need a special gift for your girlfriends or friends. This is a great book to give. So again, you can reach them at their website, weareperennials.co. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne. And remember, make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Moments with Marianne airs every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.